In February 1957, a young muskrat hunter checking his traps in rural Philadelphia found a discarded J.C. Penney baby bassinet box. Inside was the body of a young boy. He was naked, wrapped in a cheap flannel blanket, and severely malnourished. Investigators estimated he was between 4 and 6 years old. The scene presented several anomalies. The child's fingers and feet were wrinkled, consistent with being submerged in water for a long period. Yet he also bore distinct surgical scars on his ankle and groin, proof he had received professional medical care at some point in his life. His hair had been recently and crudely cropped close to the scalp. Clumps of the cut hair still clung to his shoulders and body, suggesting his appearance was altered right before or after death. This child had clear access to surgeons, yet he had been allowed to starve. Those physical details, the medical history and the hurried haircut, suggested a deliberate attempt to erase the boy's identity before he was abandoned in the woods. The Philadelphia Police Department distributed 400,000 flyers featuring the boy's post-mortem photograph to every hospital, orphanage, and foster home across the country. Despite the massive public campaign, no one claimed him. No one reported him missing. For 65 years, he was a human being entirely missing from the record, buried under a headstone that read, "America's Unknown Child." In December 2022, investigators applied modern genetic mapping to the case. Forensic genealogists extracted DNA from ancient bone fragments, mapping a genetic profile from degraded samples. After 6 decades of dead ends, the boy was officially identified as Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born January 13, 1953. For the first time since 1957, the mystery of his name was settled. But the identification only provided a starting line. Investigators now had to look into the specifics of Joseph's family environment. Police determined that Joseph lived in a deeply troubled household, which led them back to the cardboard bassinet box. The box was part of a limited shipment sold to a local department store. Investigators tracked down 11 of the 12 boxes sold from that shipment. The final box could never be traced to a buyer. This untraceable box gained new significance in 2002. A witness identified as M came forward, claiming her mother had secretly purchased a young boy from his biological parents in 1957. She alleged that Joseph was kept in a basement, tortured, and eventually killed in a bathtub after vomiting. Because M had a history of mental health struggles, police initially found her story difficult to verify. However, M stated that Joseph had eaten baked beans just before he died. That was a specific forensic detail from the 1957 autopsy that had never been released to the public. The inclusion of that secret detail gave M's account a weight that other leads in the 65-year investigation lacked. Joseph Augustus Zarelli now has a documented place in a family lineage. While his biological parents are dead, Joseph has several living maternal half-siblings. The investigation has moved from a national search for a nameless child to a specific inquiry into a single family. DNA mapping provided the name, but uncovering exactly who put Joseph in that box requires extracting information from those who are still alive. Modern science has corrected the headstone. Now, the case rests on whether modern interrogation can finally name the killer.